So welcome to all of you for this last meeting, the program. So we will continue with the parting of the four attachments. The last one. If there is any grasping, then you don't have the view. And we will relate this to one of the questions on non-duality, Mahamdura, Dzogchen, nature of the mind. And this we can finish with the question on the meaning of empowerments, initiations. In practical sense, if it is possible or allowed or admitted to give an initiation through internet or to follow them, and what's the consequence for the samayas, the vows, the commitments. But first, let's start with a short meditation. So please relax your body. If you feel any tension in your body, maybe you can relax. If not, then let it be. And be aware of sitting stable as a mountain, like a mountain, undisturbable, with the quality of the suchness of the mind. Be aware of the body in an upright position, which is the clarity aspect of the suchness, the pure nature of the mind. And be aware of the hands resting on each other, which is the enlightened quality of the mind of non-duality, non-discrimination, harmony and unity. Connection with all beings. And be aware of your face, where your brows are relaxed, your lips and jaws, and your eyes. And they are an expression of loving kindness, compassion, and love. Based on non-duality, based on clarity of mind, and based on equanimity or undisturbability. So this is the outer and inner meditation posture to abide in. in which all of our daily life and worries and happiness and grasping and rejection will disappear, dissolve. So we rest in the suchness of the mind with its qualities. Everything that arises from the past, today, future, tomorrow, is just grasping to a concept. There's no past, no future, only the arising and disappearing and dissolving in the suchness of the mind. And to enter the suchness of the mind is able through being aware of thought arising. And after the thought, there is an opening, a pause before the next thought arises. So concentrate on this openness between the thought that is coming and disappearing. Then the opening arises before the next thought will arise. And this opening is your meditation object. This opening is the awareness and the entrance into the luminous emptiness of the mind. Beyond samsara, entering the luminous emptiness of the mind. So focus on the space between the thoughts and enter the luminous, the suchness of the mind. And thus abide in the luminous emptiness. abide and do not be distracted by the grasping. Okay, thank you. I thought you were on a ship, Håkan, in full storm on the sea. Okay, so there is one question that was sent in today, which I would like to answer because it is related to last week's topic. And the question was, or the doubt was that, yes, this is what we all can experience, is that that you are so happy in the company or in the community or the meeting of loved ones with families and friends and have a good celebration. This meeting together is so loving and so full of harmony and full of a blissful feeling of happiness. And which of course is very beautiful. And then the doubt arose, isn't this in fact a grasping to samsara or maybe an attachment or grasping and being attached to? And I think we should, as I mentioned last week, be very happy if we experience happiness in our lives. All kinds of happiness with families based on love or based on good relationships or good health of the body or prosperity with all the people that I know, or having possessions or no financial worries, or and so on. And in short, this happiness, in what way we may experience, is something we should treasure. For one reason, it is because it is a consequence of our good karma in this life and previous lives. And on the other hand, it means that so many other beings are not in the state of and circumstances of happiness that I am in. So and this life is very short. This life is, as we have seen in the view on three kinds of suffering. We know that everything is changing. So also our happiness is subject to causes and circumstances, and causes and effects. So and there's constant change and constant dependent origination. So we should treasure every moment of happiness. If we would think that this is grasping or attachment, then we add a certain spoiling of our happiness to it. It is maybe a kind of nihilism. This is my happiness, but in fact I cannot enjoy it because it is one of the 12 links of dependent origination. We should not think like that. We should enjoy and treasure our happiness. And of course, there is some attachment involved. And as soon as we get angry at someone or get internal heavy disappointment, then there is aversion arising. So this is the nature of samsara. We've been talking about that. So if we are realistic, then we know that our happiness, for instance, in this loving and happy meeting together with families and loved ones, of course, we know that it is impermanent, sorry. So just because it is impermanent, as I mentioned last week, it is important that we enjoy and treasure our happiness and our joyful and happy moments and situations and relationships. And of course, as I said, attachment is involved. But it's not the case that attachment should spoil our life. There's a lot of value in being in some connection, being connected to the persons that I love. And happy connection is not always the same as attachment. But apart from that, not the attachment itself should be the problem, or has to be the problem. It is the awareness or not being aware of attachment. And then the grasping arises when I'm not aware of attachment. And that is the actual problem. That I'm not aware of the clinging and the grasping and the formation by attachment. When I'm not aware of that, then attachment becomes a problem because it can be the cause of suffering when this happiness disappears for one reason or another. So it is wonderful to enjoy happiness, even with being aware of attachment. And this is in itself wonderful. And as I said, the problem is when we hide ourselves from impermanence, when we hide ourselves from dependent origination, when we hide ourselves from cause and effect, then the dangers of attachment will arise. Then there is great suffering because of this happiness will disappear one day, sooner or later. Yeah? And as I mentioned last week, if we are happy and we are aware of impermanence and dependent origination and so on, then the more reason we have to enjoy the happiness, because we know it is impermanent. And because we know it is impermanent, this increases our happiness because of the rarity of the happiness. So by all means, enjoy your happiness. In many ways. And also be aware that in many, many situations and places in the world, there is no happiness, or almost no happiness. We all know when we look around in the world that this is true, nearby and the other side of the world. It is not, we cannot take our happiness for granted. And that's why we should, not for ourselves, and also not for all other sentient beings. So we can enhance our happiness by, when I experience the gratefulness and the joy of happiness and joy and good atmosphere and harmony together, we can enhance this now and then to may all beings be happy, may all beings be free from suffering, may all beings live in joy and equanimity. We don't have to spread out loud say out loud these words, but we can enhance and distribute our happiness in this way. for the benefit of others. Is it okay? So now we will continue with the last parting from attachment of the, when there is grasping, we don't have the view. And we should wonder, firstly, that these parting of the four attachment were transferred by the Bodhisattva Manjushri to Sachen, Kunga, Nyingpo. And we should wonder, why is it Buddha or the Bodhisattva Manjushri? And why is it not Chenrezig or Maitreya or others? And the answer is, of course, that the Bodhisattva Manjushri is the emanation from the wisdom of the Buddha nature. So the Buddha nature has many qualities, like wisdom, like boundless compassion and loving kindness with tremendous power. It has healing qualities. It has protecting qualities. But these qualities are, let's say, potentials of the Buddha nature, or let's say, or potentials of the suchness. And these potentials, they will arise as soon as it is needed in samsara. So these potentials will arise as soon as there is a situation where this one or this other quality of the Buddha nature has to arise in order to alleviate suffering of beings. And this emanation of wisdom, which is the transcendental wisdom of the Buddha nature, or the suchness, this transcendental wisdom is called Manjushri. And Manjushri has the sword, as I mentioned before, and it has the Prajnaparamita in the right hand, the sword in the left hand, the Prajnaparamita, which are two symbols of cutting through our ignorance and all our obscurations that drive us constantly throughout samsara. So the wisdom is the most important armor from the Buddha nature, appearing as soon as it is necessary to use an armory to cut through our ignorance, because ignorance is the cause of all the suffering. And we know from the Eight Noble Path that it begins with the right view. And the right view means the wisdom. And we also know from the six paramis, the most important, the basis of all, a parami becomes a parami when it is permeated or motivated by wisdom. Without wisdom, the other paramis like benevolence and like patience are ordinary samsaric qualities. But it is the wisdom view, the transcendental wisdom view, that makes it the paramis into the qualities of the Buddha. And this is the same with the Eightfold Path, the right view. So that's why Manjushri is arising and appearing as soon as some suffering and causes of suffering have to be cut through by wisdom. And this wisdom is the cause of liberation. So that's why Manjushri was appearing to Sachen, Kunga, Nyingpo at the time. So now about non-dualities. Buddha Manjushri, of course, is non-duality, but Maitreya is also non-duality, and Avalokitesvara is also non-duality, and Buddha Dhammara is also non-duality, and the Medicine Buddha is non-duality, and the Buddha nature is non-duality, and so on. Every deity that you know of is a manifestation of duality. So the question was, what is Dzogchen? Dzogchen is nothing else than an expression or a name or a concept for the suchness. I will come to the suchness first of later. But Mahamdura, the Great Seal, is also a concept for, thank you, the luminous emptiness, the natural state of the buddhanature and the luminous emptiness. So Dzogchen and Mahamdura are two concepts, two definitions for one and the same, the luminous emptiness of the mind. And Mahamdura means the Great Seal, the Great Seal. And Dzogchen is, let me see. Yeah, Dzogchen, the great perfection. Dzogchen means great perfection, and this is the expression that is used in the Nyingpo school. The Kakyu school often uses to understand the principle of Mahamdura, and this is the Great Seal. And Sakya, in Sakya, it's called the non-differentiation of clarity and emptiness. The non-differentiation of clarity and emptiness, which is the same as Dzogchen, the great perfection, and the Mahamdura, the Great Seal. So different names for same meaning. But I found a non-differentiation of clarity and emptiness the best definition as far as the definition is relevant. And the nature of mind, I will try my best, but in essence, the nature of mind cannot be this great seal of the great perfection or the non-differentiation of clarity and emptiness. In essence, it cannot be explained or expressed, because it is the inexpressible state, natural state of mind, and that means that every word or every expression that I use to explain belongs to the relative nature, belongs to concept. And the nature of mind is free of concept. And this suchness, that all I use different names, luminous emptiness, the suchness, and so on, but they are all the non-differentiation of samsara and nirvana, the non-differentiation of clarity and emptiness, wisdom and awareness, and so on. These are all the same expressions, the expressions for the same nature of mind, in order to try to express what is inexpressible. So this such nature of the mind, and actually it would be better to say the such nature of mind, and not to use the word the. The nature of mind is better, because the mind means somewhere there is an object or an entity that we call the, but there is no entity and no object involved. That should be better. I will try. So the such nature of mind is no different from that of the Buddha nature. So Buddha nature and suchness of mind is same. And the essence of the enlightened state is exactly the same as the essence of the enlightened state of the fully enlightened Buddha. So the essence of the enlightened state is exactly the same as that of the fully enlightened Buddha. And the suchness nature of mind is no different from that of the Buddha nature itself or themselves. So suchness is always related to the qualities of the Buddha nature. And it is only because our ignorance and all our defilements and obscurations, we've been talking about it, that we do not recognize this nature of mind. We do not recognize because we are ignorant. And this is also the case for samsara and nirvana. Samsara and nirvana are both qualities of mind. So samsara is mind and nirvana is mind. The difference is the view. Because of our ignorance, we view samsara as ultimate reality. And we consider nirvana as some enlightened state that is difficult to attain. And we think that samsara is a lot of suffering and happiness in constant change, which of course is the relative reality. And we feel that nirvana is that all these causes for samsara are extinguished. So the actual difference between samsara and nirvana is depending on the view. If we have the wisdom view, like the suchness and the qualities of the Buddha nature, then we automatically nirvana will arise in the mind. But as soon as we are ignorant, we are busy with all kinds of relative reality things, then we have the view of samsara. But both are parts of the enlightened mind. Only because of my obscurations and my ignorance, I live in samsara. But the difference is the view. It is lack of wisdom. But as soon as I change the view into wisdom, then samsara will disappear and nirvana will arise. So the difference is just the view. And of course, all the consequences of that. So there are two stages that we use in meditation. One stage is samatha, calm abiding, and there are two stages. One stage of samatha is to concentrate on the breath and swifting away, pushing away all the thoughts and feelings that arise. And because of pushing them away, which is quite an exercise, we can experience some calm abiding because of the dissolving of the thoughts and the feelings into the mind. But the ultimate samatha is not meditation. The ultimate samatha, the ultimate calm abiding, is the abiding in the Buddha nature, in the luminous emptiness of the nature of the mind. This is actually samatha. And same is with vipassana. With vipassana means enhancing insight. And we can, of course, enhance our insight, what we are doing by studying the 12 links on dependent origination, something like that. And then there is some insight and some wisdom arising why I am having these causes of suffering. So this is the relative vipassana, so to speak. But there is also an ultimate vipassana, and that is the wisdom, the luminous, the wisdom of the Buddha nature. So here, what I try to say is that samatha and vipassana have a relative aspect of training and insight, and samatha and vipassana, they have the ultimate quality or meaning, and that is that samatha and vipassana are qualities of the Buddha nature. Awareness, wisdom. So now in brief, what is this luminous emptiness, and what is this? What is the mind actually? I think we all know the meditation of try to find mind. This is I think a famous vipassana meditation. Can you find the mind in yourself? Is there a location? Yes or no? Is there a certain color of mind? Is there a certain limitness of mind? What is the substance of mind? Is it coarse energy, or is it subtle energy? What is the nature of this energy? Is it in the body or somewhere in the body? Is it limited? Is mind limited to the body, or is the mind limitless, meaning it is universal and can enter every reality? Is mind standing still, or is it constant energy? Is it movement, or is it standing still? And so on. These are traditional meditative or analytical approach of mind. And the answer is to all of these questions, we cannot find mind because it has no fixed nature. It has no fixed place of being. It is subtle energy that transcends everything. It is constant energy. It's constant moving. It is not standing still. And we are not able to find the nature of mind. So this is one thing. Mind is inexpressible, and we cannot detect it, and we cannot find it. We can only analyze it and express it by words, but that does not mean that we have discovered mind. The only way to discover mind is to experience mind through meditation. So the only way to connect oneself to the pure nature of mind is through, of course, through wisdom and understanding, and in meditation. And that's why empowerments are so important, but we come to that later. So now, what does this great seal of Mahamdura mean? What does it mean that there is the non-differentiation of clarity and emptiness? Here, the great seal means there is a unity of clarity and emptiness. And emptiness is what we call the nature of the mind. And what is the nature of the mind? As everything in the universe, every phenomena, not only objects, but also mind and feelings and mental formations and mind and consciousness. It is the nature of energy. All the stars and all the objects and all phenomena, the basic material substance is energy, and energy of light and energy. So this is the emptiness aspect of mind. It is light and it is empty. It means that in this emptiness, there is nothing else than light and emptiness. That's all there is. You can also mention it is space. Space. Space is also empty of everything in itself. So this is called the emptiness aspect of mind. Mind is in basic the nature or the substance or the quality of energy of light. And it is pure light, because there is nothing to find that obscures the luminosity and the radiation of mind. There's nothing that obscures it by itself. Of course, our ignorance is an obscuration, and thinking that me, myself, am absolutely existing is an obscuration, and feeling depressed and of low esteem, low self-esteem, or being angry or whatever, or these are obscurations of the natural luminous energy of the mind. But in itself, the mind is luminous emptiness, is emptiness free of any obscuration. So it is transcendental light, also often so named. And this is the luminosity that we use in certain meditations. We've done this in the second meeting. Visualize a being of light, for instance, in the form of a Buddha on top of yourself, and let it come in and purify our speech and our senses and our feelings and mental formations and so on. So this is one aspect of the suchness, the luminosity, the emptiness in the nature of light. And this light is very subtle energy. And this we can prove in the Bardo teachings. The only thing that continues is the energy of the mind and its qualities. And this mind is free from beginning and free from ending. It is empty of beginning and empty of ending. So this is one aspect of the intrinsic nature of one's mind. It is luminous emptiness. And then the second aspect is it is not empty of wisdom. It is not empty of knowing. Or in other words, the second aspect of the suchness is there is a natural wisdom, a natural understanding, a natural knowing. And this is called the clarity. So the clarity means it is the luminosity and emptiness of mind, its nature, and it is combined with knowing, wisdom, understanding. If there would be no knowing and wisdom and understanding, then we would just be like a star or a planet. A tremendous energy of light vibrating, but without any wisdom. This is a star, I think. But we are human beings, so our star-like luminosity is combined with the wisdom, the awareness, the understanding, the knowing. And for instance, what we know is dependent origination. We have treated this in the second meeting. This is the wisdom of understanding reality, and this wisdom is part of the luminous emptiness of mind. Understanding relative reality, cause and effect, karma, understanding attachment as understanding, aversion, being aware of our obscurations, of our shortcomings, being aware of our qualities, like the paramis. This is the wisdom of the natural state of the mind. So there is clarity, understanding, wisdom, so for instance, Manjushri, and there is emptiness in the form of light energy. And these two are a non-dual unity of clarity and emptiness. And there is a non-dual because we cannot separate them. We cannot separate the wisdom from the emptiness. And we cannot separate emptiness from knowing and understanding and wisdom. So this is called awareness, wisdom, or the view on suchness. And our consciousness, as we've been talking about this briefly also in other courses on the Alaya Vijnana, the storehouse consciousness. This is also part of the luminous emptiness and the awareness of the mind, but it is the wisdom part of the mind. And consciousness is always related to ignorance, provided we do not understand our consciousness. As soon as we understand our consciousness, the grasping and the clinging and the formation, like the dependent origination, as soon as we understand, then the consciousness and the ignorance will dissolve, and it will dissolve in the luminosity and in the luminous awareness of the natural state or the Buddha nature. And this is Mahamdura, or a non-differentiation of clarity and emptiness, or the great seal, or the great perfection. But simply put, it is the perfect Buddha nature with perfect wisdom, perfect understanding, and abiding in luminous emptiness in the wisdom of the wisdom and the nature of the mind is what we call the Buddha nature. So it is the intrinsic nature of mind, of our mind, if you wish, is the emptiness and clarity in one. And this is not fixed, it is not solid, it is unity. And always they arise both together. And that's why it's called the non-dual unity of clarity and emptiness and wisdom. Sometimes we will come to that later also, but this is also called the secret guru. And maybe you know that there are 3 levels of guru. There's the outer guru, which is our Lama, our teachers, the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. So these are the outer Buddhas. And there are the inner Buddhas. And the inner Buddha is the clear light of mind, as I've just explained. So the outer Buddha are our Lamas and the Gurus, the Bodhisattvas. And the inner Guru is the clear state of mind, so inside, and the secret guru is free from production and disappear and dissolving. So the secret guru is the most essential, holy aspect of our mind that is free from production and disappearance. It's always there, it does not arise and it does not appear. The secret guru is always present. And from this secret guru arises the qualities of, let's say, Maharishi or Avalokitesvara, as soon as we invite them. So all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that we meditate on are emanations that arise as soon as we appeal to them. And if you don't appeal to them, they will not arise. So that's why it said the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are our refuge, because they are always present, because they belong to the qualities of the secret guru, they belong to the inner, most profound quality and nature of the Buddha. And they arise because of their wisdom and compassion as soon as we appeal to them. And then they arise, and as soon as we are distracted by something else, or then they retreat in the Buddha nature. So Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are not here always spontaneously and asking, do you need my help? Do you need my support? Can I help you? Hello, I'm here. This is not what they're doing. They arise when we need them and when we invite them, and when we have faith in them, and when we have trust in them and we have devotion, and when we ask for help. Then they will manifest on basis of devotion, on refuge and sincere motivation, intention and practice. So this radiant light is the pure natural energy of the mind. It is clear luminosity. And I've mentioned last week or the week before, so what is Buddha? Buddha is the complete accomplishment of all good qualities without any effort. This is the most beautiful explanation or definition from a Buddha, in a Buddha. It is the complete fulfillment of all the wholesome qualities like the paramis. There's a complete absence of ignorance or negative impulses. There are no seeds for that anymore. They are all extinguished by ourselves. And then we abide in the complete, perfect qualities of the Buddha nature without any effort. And this is the path and also the result. The path is to extinguish all negativities that we are talking about, and you have heard from other teachers. And the result is the ultimate Buddha state with its qualities. And this result is already present. But because of our shortcomings and our attachment and our ignorances, we cannot make a connection because there are hindrances and obscurations. I think you know this principle. And then regarding the non-duality, in the in this luminous, in this great seal, or this non-differentiation of clarity and emptiness, in this non-dual unity of clarity and emptiness, and wisdom and emptiness, and so on, there are no seeds anymore for duality, because the wisdom mind immediately recognizes that when duality arises. And because of the nature, the emptiness and clarity of the ultimate mind, there are no seeds for duality. In the ultimate nature and the quality of wisdom, it is impossible that duality would arise because it is empty of duality. Something that is empty of something cannot produce something else. If the nature of our mind is full awareness of emptiness and full awareness of wisdom and clarity of reality, then there are no longer seeds for duality. So the Buddha nature and its qualities are free of enemies and are free of friends. There are no friends and no enemies. This is the quality of awareness, wisdom, understanding, and knowing. And it is the clarity. And that's why this Buddha nature, this awareness, wisdom, this understanding, and this emptiness of obscurations is capable of boundless love and boundless compassion and boundless kindness. Because there are no seeds, this nature is empty of seeds for duality and discrimination. They are simply not present because of the wisdom and because of the emptiness. And that's why we have the potential of limitless love, meaning no one excluded, no discrimination, no duality. There's limitless compassion. And also this love is without attachment. And also this compassion is without discrimination. And this is what we call equanimity. There's no disturbance from whatever dualistic view or attachment or aversion whatsoever. Equanimity means there's no disturbance by attachment and aversion, because in the radiant light and the pure wisdom, there is no discrimination possible. There is emptiness and there is wisdom of understanding ultimate and relative reality. It is the wisdom of understanding ultimate and relative reality. And this is based in emptiness. So it is impossible that there is love with discrimination. It means it is altruism, it is complete non-violence, it is altruism and complete non-violence without any selfish thoughts, without any ego present. I will not go into selflessness, selfishness, and egoism, because that's another chapter. But I think you can have some association that in this emptiness and this luminosity and in this all-pervasive wisdom, there is no ego, I, me existing. It's impossible. Right? So that's why the Buddha nature and its qualities are just altruism. It is the perfect Buddha, the perfect love, the perfect compassion, and the perfect joy and the perfect equanimity. Right? So this is very brief. If I have attachment, then there is no view. The view is all pervasive. And in essence, we need a qualified master for explanation and instructions and guidance. Without a qualified master for explanation and instruction and guidance, it is impossible for us without this realized master and their masters and their masters, and ultimately the origin, the Buddha. We cannot find and discover and abide and understand this on our own. We need qualified masters with transmission from an authentic lineage. Otherwise, we go astray in all kinds of confusion. So last week, we mentioned the masters that come to the third Ningen and to Burma, and this is very precious. Okay, so far, very briefly, a very limited understanding from my side, but maybe it gives you an idea, or maybe you already know. So now to the last question on empowerments and initiations. These are given through the internet. And is this a good practice, or is this a good evolution? I think it is. I've noticed indeed that there are initiations on the internet and YouTube. Maybe it could maybe give you some background information on initiations and empowerments. It might be the case on the teachers that give initiations on the internet or YouTube, that it is a certain kind of tantric practice. Maybe you know that there are four classes of tantra, from Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and Anuttara Yoga Tantra. And in the Kriya Tantra, which is the basic practice of Tantra, there's no identification and no dissolving from the inner deity, the tantric deity, and oneself. This is Anuttara Yoga Tantra, the highest yoga tantras, unifying the enlightened being or goddess or god with oneself. I think that, I'm not quite sure, but it might be the case that wise teachers would only give an initiation on Kriya Tantra, where there is no union, but there is just a visualization of the deity in front of you and not the union. This might be the case as for the internet initiations. I'm not sure, but it might be the case that teachers have this motivation. It should certainly not be the case that the highest yoga tantra initiations, the union of clarity and emptiness, in fact, would be transmitted on the internet. But of course, everything is possible nowadays. So what is an initiation? It also is very difficult to express. And one should, if possible, try to find a guru, a lama, that grants initiations. It is certainly not very healthy practice. What the question also was, to collect as many initiations as possible, the initiation hunters, so to speak. This is absolutely useless because every tantric initiation of one of these four has an impact on one's mind and also impact on how one should behave according to this initiation. And the more initiation we are hunting for, collecting, the more responsibilities we take on our shoulders to practice. And this is impossible. Even one main initiation is a commitment for the rest of our lives, like the Hevacha, the Lamdre practice. So what is happening is that the guru, or the lama, the qualified guru, the qualified lama, is helping us to descend the luminous emptiness, the primordial wisdom of the Buddha nature into ourselves, to bring into life or to descend the primordial wisdom and the luminous emptiness of the Buddha nature into our mind. That is the process by ceremony and ritual, by in an initiation, and especially Anuttara Yoga, Tantra. This occurs by the Vajra master. The Vajra master is highly skilled, like his Eminence Chokitritsin, as I mentioned last week. But Vajra masters are highly skilled and highly trained and highly realized masters to help us to descend the primordial wisdom and the luminous emptiness aspect of the enlightened mind into ourselves. And this Lama is not transferring itself, he is explaining during initiation and empowerment, he is explaining what could be possible. There is a luminous emptiness, there is a primordial wisdom deity together in one, two in one. And this is a vivid, enlightened being. So the Lama is explaining this. And through a certain ritual and ceremony, he is making ourselves sensitive or open, or try to make us open for this wisdom and this awareness and this luminosity through certain rituals and ceremony. And I think and hope that you all have experienced it. So it is a clear and definite process of blessing by the descent of the primordial wisdom and the luminous emptiness, this enlightened being. And this can bring forward an experience of real primordial wisdom. It can bring forward an experience of this descent of this primordial wisdom and luminous emptiness in ourselves. So it is by initiation or empowerment, it is awakened by the words of the Lama, but the Lama is not doing it, we are doing it ourselves. And this can be wonderful experiences because dependent on our karma or dependent on our development, dependent on our wisdom, dependent on our loving kindness, and so on. It can be very wonderful experiences, but in the beginning it can also be the case that nothing happens. And then we are very disappointed. I feel nothing. So this Lama is nothing, and this initiation is also fake. So, but this is in the beginning. This is the development of and the arising of the inner Buddha nature, slowly. So the teacher is helping us and revealing us something and giving us advice. So it might be the case that we have an experience of Mahamdura or luminosity or bliss of this Buddha quality, which is arising in ourselves. It's important to understand. So that means that our ordinary being, our ordinary thinking, our ordinary concepts, like in the Alaya Vijnana, they are suspended or halted or disappearing, because of the descent of the primordial wisdom being, which is a reflection of oneself. And for that, and that's maybe the best answer to this question, why it should not be on the internet, because for this process I've just explained, it's so important that there is a connection, a faith, a conviction in devotion, not solely on the teacher, but also in the wisdom and the understanding. So this is, and it is preferably that this conviction and this devotion is raised in ourselves in connection or spiritual friendship or strong connection or deep faith with that specific teacher, this tantric master. In other words, an initiation or empowerment explained or assisted or helped or advised by a tantric master is ideally based on a strong connection and a deep faith in this master or this teacher. And this is, of course, what in internet most of the time is not present. Maybe, let's say, there is an empowerment on the internet or YouTube, and we have no idea who this teacher is, and we can follow this procedure and ritual for the initiation and empowerment, but actually it means nothing, because there is no connection, no faith, no knowledge, no devotion, no friendship between the master and the student. So the connection, the faith, the mutual spiritual friendship and trust in each other is the most necessary base for going together in the process of initiation and empowerment. And this is, of course, as I've just explained, the outer guru is this tantric master, for instance. He touches the inner guru, which is the clear light of mind, and he touches the secret guru, which is the luminous nature and the primordial wisdom inside of us. And this is the most profound and wonderful guru yoga that we can practice. Something like that. So the ultimate guru and the state of your mind should be, of our mind should be inseparable. And in the book of Dzogchen, he advises to practice calm abiding meditation. But then the practice of calm abiding meditation in the ultimate qualities of the buddhanature, supported by wisdom. So if you like, we can meditate together. Is this a little bit understandable as far as you are not already experienced in this process? So find yourself a wonderful guru and start or continue or enhance or value the wonderful mutual spiritual friendship. This Lama will never leave you. Even if you leave the Lama will never leave you. leave you. Okay, so I have a guided meditation for you on some qualities of the Buddha nature. And these qualities of the Buddha nature, they are a protecting force, are protecting forces manifesting from this luminous emptiness and this primordial wisdom, luminous emptiness and primordial wisdom, the two in one. From these arises qualities, and they help and protect us in our daily life. This is the meditation. Okay? So please relax your body and your mind. Forget everything for now. And be aware that everything that arises in your mind arises from the mind deep inside and also dissolves in the mind. Or be aware of the opening, the entrance into the luminous emptiness of your mind between one thought and before the other thought is arising. So here we are entering. The luminosity and the primordial wisdom. And this luminosity, now you can visualize yourself as a transcendence. Now, through this opening between one thought and the next thought, you enter the luminosity and the primordial wisdom. And because of that, your body changes into a being of light. So use your imagination. Your body changes into, let's say, a Buddha, if you wish. And this Buddha figure, position, imagination has the shape of a Buddha, but nature is light. Just clear light. This means transparent. The form itself and the inside, it's just like glass or like diamond. And this clear light has many colors, like the colors of a diamond. And these colors are all the qualities. The primordial wisdom quality. And the qualities of love and compassion and so on. It's enough to be aware of that. Not only being aware of it, but also experiencing, feeling. Maybe even a feeling of joy or bliss of the purity. And it is your radiant, enlightened being vibrating. It's the luminous energy of light. And it is the solidity of a diamond. It's indestructible. Because it's our nature, our origin. It's indestructible, immortal, limitless. So this is the abiding, the calm abiding, the nature and transcend primordial wisdom combined. This is the dissolving of your all daily being into the wisdom, enlightened being already there. And now, regarding the qualities that protect and support us in our daily, ordinary life, visualize, fantasize that from this enlightened heart, the center of the body, enlightened heart, there's a white light radiating with a substance of a rainbow light, so transparent. So this is the quality of purification, purifies all impurities or shortcomings, purifies all obscurations inside, whatever. So this quality arising from the primordial wisdom being, from the heart, and is surrounding the enlightened body that you are yourself. So it is surrounding your enlightened body in an egg shape. So it encircles you like a tent of light in the white color, not touching the body. So this is the manifestation of purifying all obscurations, shortcomings, disturbances, and so on. And now a second light arises from the clear light and the primordial wisdom being, the heart essence. This is yellow light, and it increases all enlightened qualities, all our merit, all our wisdom increases by this yellow light arising from the clear light and the primordial wisdom. And its filth makes a tent outside the white tent. It is the substance of rainbow, does not touch the white tent, and it builds a protective, vibrating force of clear light and primordial wisdom. Don't worry about your visualization. The idea and the experience is most important. And now from the heart, this clear light being and this luminosity combined with primordial wisdom being, there's dark blue light with the substance of rainbow light, transparent. And this dark blue light is a powerful force, even a wrathful force that protects us from all disharmonic influences from outside. And all the demons. So this dark blue light protects against all disharmonic influences, all demons and so on. And it makes a tent outside the white and the yellow tent, not touching, vibrating with tremendous power and energy. And this is the third protective tent. And visualize this as if this is yourself. And now from the clear, radiant luminosity and primordial wisdom being that you are, from your heart essence arises green light. And this is the green light of accomplishing. This is the buddhanature quality of accomplishing all enlightened qualities and stabilizing them. So it's the green light of accomplishing and stabilizing, making indestructible. And it emanates from the heart and makes a tent outside the dark blue, outside the yellow, outside the white, without touching, but fully vibrating with clarity, radiating, and primordial wisdom originating from it. And this is the calm abiding and protecting in qualities, in wisdom and power and luminosity. every moment of in our daily life. Whatever we encounter, this is the ultimate refuge, the inner guru, the luminosity and primordial wisdom nature and its qualities. So, thank you. So as a final conclusion, all the feminist Dzogchen teaching says, whatever we do, whatever we think, whatever we feel, immediately let it be embedded in the right view. Or every action is connected to the view. Then wonderful things can happen, will happen. Everything we do or say or think or feel let it be accompanied by the view, the right view. Okay. So thank you for joining together. It was great pleasure. And till we meet again, wish you all the best.